So some people say that giving up nicotine can be quite hard, but it's quite the opposite. There's a whole process involved, and there's a lot of knowledge that I had to teach myself to help the chemical reactions in my body become regulated. Now, we all know that nicotine plays a part in making the dopamine receptors in our minds happy. And it's the stimulation that we get to alleviate the stress. And there are many things that feed our dopamine. There's many products that help us regulate. Now, I gave up smoking about 3 times already. The first 2 times, I just wanted to make sure I could do it because it seemed to be a harder process by the sounds of others who have gone through it. But realistically, it's the easiest thing you could ever do. There's a lot of herbs out there. There's a lot of natural remedies that exist that help regulate the dopamine fix. Now, nicotine has its benefits, I am sure, but no one necessarily cares about the benefits. Some people care about the disadvantages. And I want to, touch on and expand the disadvantages of nicotine and how it disrupts our dopamine receptors within our brains, within our minds, and the damage that it's actually doing when we're not using it intentionally. There are many intentional methods that can exist to attain nicotine. It's actually in more plants than we give credit to. But in this reality, there's a lot of kids these days smoking on nicotine vapes, going through technology like it's the best escape. Now, dysregulated dopamine is a challenging thing to accept when we know that we scroll to feed our dopamine, when there's some people that smoke a vape, inhale a vape to regulate their dopamine. In my opinion, it's the digital crack pipe. It's disgusting. There's so much stimulation that you can get from nicotine, and when we think that is our baseline, that becomes a problem. And I've noticed it around people who have withdrawals from these things. And realistically, the thing that helped me give up smoking and regulate my dopamine was 3 days of rest. The first 2 days can be quite hard. The third day is a challenge. But it usually takes 3 days, 3 solid days to let go of all the patterns that create the bad phase of life, because we can't, in my experience, I was a heavy smoker. I would smoke a lot, and I'd enjoy it. When I'd work in construction, I was smoking like a chimney because I was bored. It was a candlestick. It helped me keep track of time because whatever I was doing just wasn't feeling great. So smoke in my hand and smoke in my mouth, I suppose, was feeling quite great. But it always comes a moment in time where we have to come back to re-regulate, and it's changing the environment. So I had to reconnect to the dopamine and reconnect to my own fix is essentially changing the environment, changing the setting, as dopamine is just another substance. It's another psychedelic substance that people underestimate. It is definitely psychoactive. It may not be as psychedelic as others perceive, but it's very psychoactive. It expands your attention beyond what is normal. And it can be great if you have ADHD, you want to regulate your attention and your focus. Have a cigarette, have a vape, for sure. Ignore the long-term damages if that's what you choose. A short-term fix is better than, I don't know, I don't agree to that anymore. There's beauty in delayed gratification. And that's sort of what I was coming to before with the 3 days. And I'm sorry if I'm going all over the place, but I'm a human as well, and a message like this doesn't deserve to be polished. Anyways, I'm not a polished individual. I'm messy, I rant, I ramble, and if you don't like it, swipe next. But as I was saying, it takes us 3 days to change our set and setting. It takes us a bit of time to reconnect with ourselves, because the withdrawals can be quite bad. The withdrawals are just our body craving what it's used to receiving, but within 3 days you can actually overcome it. There's a lot of natural ways that exist. The herb thyme is fantastic to purge your lungs. Mullein is another herb that is known for clearing the lungs and helping you breathe, because exercise, the thing that creates endorphins, as I was talking on my last video about endorphins, the natural painkiller, also helps you breathe, because it's another byproduct of dopamine. It's the reward system. It's how we reward ourselves. We can choose the reward. We can have goals in life. Like smoking less was the first goal, and then cutting them out cold turkey was actually quite easy. Anyone can do it. It's not a supernatural thing to achieve. If you're looking to regulate your dopamine, you can quite easily put the vape down, because it is essentially the digital crack pipe, and I will never see it any differently. I think it's disgusting that a lot of young kids are turning to these devices, and then people have the audacity to make fun of a crackhead. And I don't see much of a difference between smoking a vape and a meth addict. They're both very overstimulated substances, and they can give you delusions. And some people are deluded to think that one substance isn't as bad as another. They both overstimulate the body, give you quick, high rush of dopamine, very heightened and awakened attention spans, and it's just handed to kids in a different way. It's a different vice. It's a different thing, but it's not quite the same. It's a delusional space to be in. But smoking tobacco is quite natural. It has its natural properties if you can find organic tobacco. But these products, as great as the pleasure may be, the disadvantage is that it makes it hard to think. There's a whole world that we open ourselves up to, because when we want to escape, we have a puff. When we want to, it takes us away from enjoying good moments with kids, with loved ones, with individuals that actually matter. The smell of smoke can be disgusting to some, but maybe you love another individual so much that you don't actually want to smell bad. There's many different ways to frame it. There's many different ways to recalibrate the dopamine fix. And I've done it, and I'm lost track how long it's been since my last tobacco puff, I suppose, if that's what you want to call it. So it is possible. I have more control over it than it had control over me. So if I do choose to smoke again in life, I will choose for a day. Might be a celebration. Might be a cigar. There's no harm in that. We've all got our choices. And I have given up just so I can reclaim my breath, because that's how we regulate ourselves. That's how we come back to our center, the most important thing. And when we smoke and harm our lungs, what kind of reality are we creating if we can't sit back and enjoy the stillness and peace of not being out of breath and not craving another cigarette? Because if you are embarking on meditation, you want to sit still. You don't want a craving to pull you away, and you don't want to have to fight another craving just to be distracted. You don't want more battles in life. You want less battles. Less battles, more wins come your way because you've already won it. And tobacco, the dopamine war, the challenge was easily overcame. I overcame that challenge simply by allowing 3 days to not define the rest of my life. Yes, I was angry. Yes, I had some outrage. Yes, I had these experiences that I cannot put into words. But it was only 3 days. It wasn't a lifetime, even though it may have felt like that. It was only 3 days. And a lot of things changed on the 4th day. Very slowly, but it happened. And it's up to you to start that chain reaction. Because these methods and these remedies, they're practically free. They don't cost you anything more than $10 to get yourself into better health. I didn't go onto nicotine patches. I didn't need to use the quit line. I mean, there's many different ways to help you quit and help you regulate your pleasure senses, because realistically, convenience is another dopamine hit. So if we break through what is normally convenient and actually make an effort, we get a boost of healthy dopamine. And that's the beauty of life. It's healthy dopamine. It's not this dysregulated, this junk food dopamine fix that gives us quick pleasures. So it's possible to just experience what your body wants to purge and then let go of it, because you can do that. The power is up to you on what you choose to do. It's got nothing to do with me. I've done it. And now I'm telling you that you can do it if you want to. Or you can ignore this and tell me that I'm crazy. Doesn't bother me. If you want to regulate your dopamine receptors, start with a break. And then watch all the other chemicals recalibrate. You've still got oxytocin to create. You've still got serotonin to make you happy. Dopamine kind of depletes the serotonin because it's like a small burst. It's not quite the same thing. You can improve your serotonin by eating pasta. It pretty much has a high concentrate of what's the substance? It's the L-tryptophan, I believe, which is a precursor to, I think, 5-HTP, and then it goes to serotonin, and then serotonin turns into melatonin. So there's a chain reaction with these chemicals. They're essentially amino acids, I suppose. You could look at them as amino acids. Or I could be wrong. I could be overgeneralizing what I'm alluding to. But if this video has helped you, share it with a friend, share it with someone, or comment down below. Do whatever it is to join the conversation, and together we can help one another. There's a fly, mosquito. Get rid of that. But yeah. So take it easy. Whatever you're doing, don't stress. Everything works itself out, and time is definitely an illusion, because if I had have believed the 3 days of torment of taking a break from smoking was the end of the world, which it wasn't. It was just the beginning. The end is always the beginning of something new. The end is never absolute. It's just a it's like you get to the end of the road, but you keep on going. You eventually find another road. It might be the same one, takes you back, but maybe we've got to go back to go forward. It is all a perception thing, and I think I have ranted enough, and I hope I've made sense. And if I haven't, I'm just gonna make another video and see how we go. So take it easy, have a good day, and I'll talk to you another day.